Hey everybody, it's Chad Burt here with OutsideAgents.com. I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. Here in Jacksonville is nice, it's sunny, it's just a beautiful day to be outside and not in front of a computer. But here I am because it's part of my goals, it's part of what I do. And I'm super excited to be here. Today, joining us will be Kulin Strimbo, an esteemed colleague and an expert marketer, also the head of Tima. She's one of the companies that will be powering our new Meta platform in its current iteration. We're really excited about that. But before we get to the meat and potatoes, I want to talk to you a little bit about, well, what you're doing and why. A lot of, we're always trying to set goals. We're always trying to say, hey, we want to get here, but we don't always understand what here is until we get there, right? Today, I'm going to show you some ways to kind of analyze what you're doing, make some decisions, and then we're going to apply that to what you'll be doing in Meta. So we're going to cover a lot of ground pretty quickly. But if you hold on for just 1 second, Amber, I'm told that Colin's having trouble with her password. She
Okay.
has the one that you sent this morning.
Okay, let me take
And
care
if
of
you
it right
could
now.
give her a hand, that'd be great. In the meantime, folks, I can jump right down in here because, well, I was going to talk for the first half of this anyway. So I wanted to jump right in and show you what our mentors experience when they ask an agent what their goals are, where they want to be a year from now. And instantly they come up with this image in their mind. Okay. You guys start to stammer and stutter and stuff because you don't yet have the experience to even start doing these calculations. Ladies and gentlemen, I can calculate within a few dollars based on 4 pieces of data how much you're going to make in the next 6 to 9 months with an accuracy of plus or minus 5%. Not too bad. But do those numbers apply to you? Maybe. Do the value of those numbers make sense to you? Well, that's hard to say. So let's take a look at real quick at what I'm talking about. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a rope, and we're going to throw you a rope to help pull you along, or you can make your own decisions what you want to do with it. At the end of the day, the rope is still a rope, and that's the rapid onboarding process for excellence. We're working on deploying this as a new program for you guys down the road. But if you know me at all, I can't just, not talk about it ahead of time. So I just got to kind of show you what we're talking about. Now, how many of you have, and if you can, by just a show of hands, they're in the chat. How many of you have sat down and really started thinking about your goals, and as you kind of researched it, came across the idea of SMART goals? A whole bunch of you. Okay, we got Christy says yes. Gina, Timothy. Okay, so we've all heard of SMART goals and we know what it means, right? It means that the goal is specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's time-based. It makes a lot of sense, right? If we have a goal, we have to kind of say what it is, right? And then if we're going to evaluate our performance, we have to have some standard to measure it by, right? And if it's attainable, we need to know to what degree. Okay? It's not is it or isn't it, but how much effort is it going to take? Everything's doable. Tim, our new developer, is in the room. You ask any developer on the planet if it can be done, they will say, yes, it can. How much money do you have? How much time? Okay, so you have to make goals that are realistic-ish, right? They have to be relevant. Relevant to what? You, other goals, other steps. They have to make sense. Any goal that's staying way out here by itself with nobody else around it may not be part of what you want to be doing. And then time-based, and it has to have a due date. And I hate due dates, I truly do. But at the end of the day, you have to say, I'm going to work on it for 2 weeks, and then it'll be done on Tuesday. And that's what you're shooting for. I don't know about you, but those goals that I set where, yeah, I'll get to it, typically don't. Okay, so it has to be time-based. But, I'm a smart guy, at least I like to think I am. But I like to be smarter. Okay, so here are your smarter goals. Same idea, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based, but I'm going to add 2 interesting ones: emotional and rational. And folks, just 1 second. I just need to get cooling here. Just 1 second, folks.
I'm in, Chad.
There you go. Now you're a co-host. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got
Woohoo.
Glenn Trimbo with us, one of my favorite people to mess with and talk through stuff with. Absolutely one of my go-to people if I want to have an in-depth conversation on quite a few things. She's got just a breadth of knowledge and a depth of knowledge that I respect. And I hated to have to say that in front of her because now she probably thinks I like her and all that.
I
But
know.
here we are. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, tech difficulties. My apologies. I respect your time, and I'm sorry I couldn't get on the backside. So, Chad, keep on keeping on. I'm
So
following.
yeah, no worries. Let me know where I mess up. Okay. So I
You
was
got
just
it.
talking about SMART goals and Colleen, I'm smarter than that, right? So I had to incorporate emotional and rational to your goal settings. Now, while those seem oxymoronic, kind of, mutually exclusive or whatever, they are absolutely designed, built ration and emotion to work in tandem. The brain, ladies and gentlemen, thinks in emotions first and logic later. Okay? If you keep on working against yourself emotionally, then you're not going to attain goals. Then if you try to set goals that are just emotional, they're going to make you feel good. I'm going to like it. I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to be popular. Then they're probably not going to make a lot of sense. So we want to combine emotion and rationale when we set goals. Okay. Maybe our goal is to be happy. Okay, cool. What kind of happy? Some people are happy when they are safe and secure. Some people are happy when they're drag racing. Some people are happy in different circumstances. What does that look like? Think it through. Now, for those of you that know me, I'm not happy with just being smart or smarter. I've got to be smartest. Okay. So, same deal, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time based, emotional, rational. Now I'm going to add strategic and tactical. What's the difference? Strategic fits into your overall plan. Folks, goals are nested inside of each other. Okay. There's multiple goals leading to a top goal. Okay. So they have to make sense for your strategy overall. And then finally, they have to be tactical. Tactical, that's a general in the army determines the strategy. The guy with the rifle, he pulls the trigger. He is implementing the tactics of the strategy. So make sure that they all kind of fit in. Make sure they relate. Now, folks, for those of you that know me, smart, smarter, and smartest is good enough, but I'm all about cool. Okay, we all know what the word cool means. It's kind of cool. We live in an era now where we're all old enough to know what cool really means. Um, so I decided that we needed cool paths. Okay, we need cool paths to get to where we're going. So I changed everything up just a little bit. First of all, the goal has to be clear and similar to specific. It has to be observable. That's similar to measurable. It has to be objective. That's related to measurable. Can you see what's going to happen if I do X number of days or X number of dollars? That is what we're talking about in terms of objective. Limited scope. Tim, my developer in the house, you know what scope creep is. Okay, you want to make sure that this goal to clean your kitchen doesn't turn into painting your house. Okay, make sure it's well defined, it's confined. Has to be strategic, has to be tactical, has to be prioritized. Man, I learned this from Dave. He handles our technology, but tell me what you want done in what order. But remember, you're the boss, so you have to determine in what order how important things are to you. It has to be accountable. Okay, folks, we're going to talk a little bit later on about accountability partners, but any chance you get to get a gym buddy is going to be to your advantage. Worst case scenario, make yourself accountable. Put a list up on the wall. Okay, maybe 3 or 4 items of post-it notes, fine. But these are the things I must get done. Then it has to be time bound. And here's the one that's going to throw everybody for a loop. But please understand, I'm from California. Okay, I'm from California. They have to be holistic, folks. I know so many of our top producers. I just got back from our national convention. I was talking to some of our heavy hitters. And man, they're working so much that their personal life's suffering. Health is a question sometimes. Some people had a goal of being a $5 million a year agent. and now it's taxing them. So remember, if our goals are to have a good life, overall, the overreaching goal, right? Good life. Don't let work kill you. Please make sure that your goals are holistic. It makes sense. Now, with that having been said, I'm going to distribute this whole thing for you here towards the end of the session. For you guys, it's a thought tool, not much more. Okay. What is interesting is up here, folks. You cannot hold me accountable for this. Okay, I just threw it in here this morning, but we're talking about goals and we're trying to come out with an accountability system in MagTap. And the idea is to have a number of small actions that you can take that will move you towards achieving your goal. We call them tiny wins. It's really important, folks. The number one thing we see with agents is that it's overwhelming. There's so much going on in the travel industry. Where do I start? What do I do? Well, here's a list of stuff that you can get done. Go take a look at it. It's got resources in the far right column for you and so on. It's just a thought tool. These are some of the things that you should be doing, tomorrow, next day, that kind of thing. Put them on your list. Now, with that having been said, why am I talking about goals when I'm talking about meta? Well, folks, last time we were, looking at marketing systems and whatnot, we realized that we didn't position the product, the services, the way we needed to. The single most important thing you can do in marketing, Lynn will correct me if I'm wrong, is to know what you're doing. Why? You have to have a goal. For example, I want to reach a bunch of people. Why? You want to buy something? You want to put them into a nurture sequence? Do you want to try to move them towards luxury or more towards mass market? Why do you want this email list? Why am I deploying a social media campaign? What is the goal? What are you
Yeah,
trying
marketing,
to do?
if I can just add to that, Chad, one of the things, it's not, marketing isn't about as much knowing what you're doing, it's knowing where to find the resources, but also know where you're going. I talk to
Yes.
people all the time about this and say, look, this is super easy. I know there's a lot of forms and all that, and this stuff is a great reference, particularly for people who are structured. When I talk to people, I'm like, do you want to double your business this year? Start back at that and then back into the rest of it. You can't fill out this form until you know the ultimate goal is to sell more cruise or to switch from Disney into another market or whatever those goals are. Feed into this structure in the plan, and most of those goals with the agent starts with wanting to make more money or make different kind of money or work less and make more, and that's what feeds into this. And once you know that goal, then these forms become invaluable.
Absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned that because you go out to market, right? And you're trying to attract more luxury clients. You're trying to do, whatever it is that you're trying to do, make more money. That makes sense. Let's do that. Cool. Do you want to do that by increasing the number of transactions you're getting? Do you want to do that by increasing the transaction value of each transaction? How do you want to do that? What is your goal?
Right.
And then you kind of work your way back. She nailed it on the head. I don't know how many of you guys remember being a kid at Denny's and you couldn't solve the maze on the little paper thing, So you went to the end and you worked your way back, didn't you? Sometimes you do that with marketing. So having thrown all this out there, I want to kind of introduce you just to Meta. Folks, if you want to get there, I'm going to put the URL.
And while he's coming up with this, the concept behind this is resource. Making it easier to work smarter and not harder is kind of the plan behind this. It's not meant to become your exclusive marketing resource. It's to give you an easy way to get there, give you the resources, provide you the tools you need to get it done and get it done fast, and make it look beautiful when you do it. So there's a lot of great stuff in here. Sorry, Chad.
Yeah, oh, no problem. Get it done and get it done fast so that you can go after
Yeah.
your priorities. Let me give you a quick example, then I'm going to let Colleen kind of dive in. These social media packs, you get 30 days of posts, right? Perfect. Set it, forget it, done. But let's say you've got a little bit of time. Maybe you want to massage one or two of those posts. Maybe you want to kind of change things up a little bit. Maybe you want to throw some logos in there. If you have time to go that extra step, it's normally to your benefit. That having been said, sometimes just having a pro do it is to your benefit. If you folks get a chance to read my thing called There's Three Paths and it's on the blog page on OutsideAgents.com. You'll kind of understand what I'm saying, but basically you can do it yourself. You can do it with some help, or you can have a professional do it. We're trying to cover the first two for the most part today.
Sure.
So Clint, you are co-host. If you want to kind of just give them a quick tour around
Sure.
here.
Let me give you just, yeah, and everybody knows how to get Chad just posted it in the chat, how to get over into the Meta platform.
You have to be logged into TAP, and then the Meta link will work.
Yeah, won't do it without it. That's absolutely true. When you're in here and you're looking at social packs, I want you to think about this. Everybody's got a bunch of resources that are available to them clearly on supplier pages. The goal here is to bring these all into one central spot. So you have everything you need, one location. You can go in and say, okay, this month I'm going to focus more on cruises. I'm going to do more on Europe. I'm going to do whatever it is. And you can go in and you can download the content. It has the images, lots of them have videos, which I highly recommend. It has the text, it has hashtags. It's got literally everything you need to grab and go. Everything is a grab and go. You can modify the text if you don't like it. You can add more if you want more, but at least it gives you a baseline of what to start with. And I tell people all the time with social media, if you're not selling something at least every third post, it's probably not worth it. So in your head, if you could think inspiration, information, and then a sale.
Real
And
quick, Clint,
inspiration.
do you want to share your screen here eventually? And I'll stop
I
mine.
was going to let you maintain it. Do you want me to pop it up? I can do that too.
Uh, yeah, however you want to do it. I've got it up right now.
I think if we keep on wanting to not go back and forth, I probably think it'd be easier for the things because if you
Sure.
don't mind,
Yeah, I can do that.
we're all good here. When you're structuring the posts and you're going into it, I want you to think like if you're selling Hawaii, inspiration is it's the most it's beautiful at the top of the Haleakala crater for the sunrise bike ride. That's inspiration. That's an experience. Information. Did you know the best time to go to Hawaii is between January and March when the whales are out, for example? And then here's how you get there. A lot of times we have agents who take content and they don't actually put the inspiration or the information elements, why you go, why you want to do it, or they don't put any information about how to get there. So that combination is really great on social media and you get great engagement when you do that kind of thing. So the content in here that you're going to see is exactly the downloadable kind of, it gives you information, it gives you that inspiration, and also gives you the content to just throw up and plan and go about your day, which is fantastic. Where are you at, Chad? You got the scroll
Real
going?
quick, I'm on the resource page. I wanted to toss something out. Okay, so I'm a daydreamer, thinking whatever kind of person. I waste a lot of time, but I also invest a lot of time just taking a look at the market. One of the things that Glenn, you and I started off with, one of the reasons why we got this business relationship is that you can see the whole picture. You do the research, you understand the market. And so that's really important, folks. I'd encourage you to spend 5 or 10 minutes a week just browsing the resource page. See if you're inspired by something. That's all.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know,
updated every single month. So we add new content, new sales tips, new articles, new blogs, things of that nature every month. So it's not just a static resource. This is something where our team goes out and says, okay, what should you guys be selling this month? What are fun things that we know are trending in the market? And then we give you more videos, more images, more of that. And it could be a destination, it could be a product, it could be many different things. So definitely look at the top selling items every time you go in each month and see what's cooking in there. It is a moving and breathing system. It's not just a static set.
and it's funny you say moving and breathing, because at the end of the day, here's one of the things I run across all the time is I want to do marketing, and then they want to be done with it. It's like set it and forget it. Don't do that. Everything you do should have an action that follows it.
For sure, for sure. And you know what? If it's too hard to plan out a year with marketing, lots of people, and I've talked to so many agents who are like, I got 90 days in me. I don't know if I'm even going to like doing this. I don't know what it's going to bring. And I'm also an independent person. I don't have a team. If I do too much and it actually works, it scares me because I don't want to have my service go down as a result of it. So shorter segments are good. If you're going to be focusing on a certain kind of product, January to March is a great time to sell Western Europe as an example. It's perfect, 6 to 9 month window. If you focus on that, or Alaska beginning of the year going into summer, focus on that for your first 90 days, see how it works, see how the social media plays out, sending emails, nurturing your database to see what kind of things play out, or doing lead development. Give yourself a window and a plan and a goal, obviously, for sales to make sure you know if you got there and if it worked, what did.
It's funny you mentioned that. So cruises and tours, we had a retail agency. Steve and I ran all the marketing. We had a 2-week window, month tops, but we knew when people were buying cruises, when they were buying Europe, when Alaska was popular. So we just went with that.
Mhm.
In hindsight, if we'd had a resource like that, we might have, like this, we might have done things just a little differently. That's how important this
For
is.
sure. And we're adding in the month of February, just so everybody knows the what to sell and when. I have a whole editorial sales calendar that we'll be adding into the resource tool here that'll just show you what should you be selling this month, what things should you be promoting based on how consumers are buying. This is something obviously the brands know and they sell into it, push and pull back, that kind of a thing. But based on just average consumer purchases, of course, there's outliers. Yes, there will always be the people who buy a trip and go next week. And then there's the people who plan 2 or 3 years in advance. But in the middle, there's about 70% of the people that you want to cover that always book Europe 6 to 9 months out, or Africa, is a year-long deal. So you want to sell when it's the best time to go a year in advance, that kind of thing.
I just wanted to put this up here real quick. So Glenn is now helping us with our marketing for OutsideAgents.com. And here's a calendar where we're looking forward. We're seeing what we're doing, what we could be doing extra, maybe what we're overdoing. But it just gives us a look through the front window, right? To see what
Is this the one
maybe
I
lie
made for
ahead.
you, Chad?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, yeah, I'm bearing my soul.
I have to rein Chad in, otherwise he's all over the place. So we have to
Yeah,
put him on a calendar or he goes rogue.
drift is my problem. Okay.
Yeah, you're
I just had
aggressive,
to share
man.
that real quick. So let me jump back into the right place here.
But it's a good, this kind of calendar, and Canva's great. By the way, just I see a bunch of Canva things in the chat feed. All the content that we give you is editable in Canva. If you
Yes,
drop it down and you upload it in there, you can add anything you want to it, change the words, whatever. So know that it's already set there for you, but get after it. We love Canva, 100%. It's a
love
great
it.
resource.
And this content being provided in layers, for Canva is game changing. I don't know if anybody else out there doing this, but at the end of the day, this is your business. We want you to be able to represent it the way you want to represent it.
Right.
Good
Right.
content, but do what you need to do.
So on the screen, just really quickly, while he's got this up, I don't want you to move. Don't go anywhere on the screen for just a second, Chad. So the niche sales opportunities are the ones that we feature every single month that have videos and everything in them. Just so you guys know, we're all essentially, as a consumer, kind of 2-year-olds in our attention spans when we read things. Putting a video in a social media post at the top of a newsletter, in any email you've got, holds people's attention on the page just a fraction enough longer for them to actually read material. What happens, what they've noted, is that the video keeps them on the page, even if it's not actually something that's relevant. It's interesting enough for them to be able to scan the content while the video is playing. If you have a long newsletter, I've seen a lot of newsletters come in where people want to share a lot of information. Put GIFs in the middle. Movement in the middle of a long narrative also holds people on it longer, makes them revisit, come back, reopen, and share it as well. So know that in the niche sales opportunities each month, we add videos in those, but you can build them in Canva as well. If you've got something fun going on or you want an Ireland promotion and we didn't give you a video, grab one in Canva and drop it in there. It'll increase the engagement. And they say it's like 75% more engagement on ads, on social media posts, and on emails if you add video to it. So anything you can do, even short ones, any movement is good.
Any movement. And real quick, I'll toss out the white bear effect real quick. Everybody, whatever you do for the next 5 seconds, don't think of a white bear. Don't do it. Do not think of a white bear. Don't think of a white bear. Every one of you just thought of a white bear. The only way you can decide to not think of it is to think of it. So everything that they scroll past, everything they glimpse, everything in the peripheral vision, it gets consumed. So having that motion to draw the attention, draw the focus, increase the likelihood that they're going to consume what you want them to. That's important.
The other thing I want to mention as well is one thing that's missing that I see in travel agent and communications is repetition. And my example, I know I recognize a lot of you on the call, so if you've heard this from me before, I apologize in advance for my Facebook story. But when you're on Facebook and you're scrolling, you see a pair of shoes or a sweater, and you're like, I don't have time for this right now. But it's coming back. That it always comes back, right? So the third, fourth time that sweater pops up, you're like, fine, how much is it? Fine, right? When travel agents send emails, they tend to send one with their marketing, and they're like, I didn't get anything from it. Well, when do you ever open the first one you see? We get so much information digitally all the time, and we always know that it will come back again. When we don't market that way to our customers, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's an email, whatever it is, we're going to lose customers in that because they'll remember they wanted to see it and they're not going to remember where it came from, or they'll start searching on the internet, which is the kiss of death. So make sure repetition is in all of your marketing. Say it a little bit differently again in a week. Put email sends in, use tools that allow you to set up a sequence of communications over 5 to 6 weeks. It works out beautifully. And we on our side, when we do campaigns for agents, we get the most interaction with databases by the third or fourth email, rarely on the first. So
Lynn, it's funny. I was talking with Ann Madison, Clea's global director of communications last year, and she kind of tied me up on something. The adage for marketers has always been they got to see you 3 times, period. Well, there's a comma in that sentence. They got to see you 3 times to know you. They have to see you at least 5 times to trust you, credibility, that kind of thing. And then they need to see you 7 or more times for them to believe. It's belief. That's when they trust something enough to take an action. So someplace between 3 and 7 times they need to see you before they're going to open their wallet. It's a fact.
And on top of that, that if you look at transactions, you just do a Google search of how long it takes a consumer to buy something based on price point. The higher the price, if it's a sweater, it doesn't take very long. If it's a trip and it's a high-end trip, it takes a lot longer. It's a 2 to 4 month cycle for someone spending over $5,000. So when you're nurturing customers into that, most times, unless they're impulsively purchasing, you need to play it out for the long sale to make sure that you get them in the door in the time period that they're ready to actually open up their checkbook, for sure. I think we just lost Chad. Has anybody, while he's switching off there, has anybody used any of the social media packs? Can you just in the chat let me know if you've been able to download these? I should also mention that we take requests and we do it at no cost. So if you see something and you're like, I really need this for this market, you shoot us a text, email and say, hey, I'm from OA. I need this kind of social media post pack, and we'll upload it in the following month into the link profiles. I don't know if you guys call it link on your side, whatever you do, Chad, but we can add more social media post packs. If you don't want to create them yourself or don't know what to create, we can add those for you each month. We can't hear you, Chad.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Wife started vacuuming. I had to go. That's the thing. You can do it yourself. You can do it with some help, or you can have a pro do it. It makes sense.
Yep. Somebody said they've been going to the supplier sites. Totally rational, great idea to do it. If there's some that you're missing inside the Meta platform that we can grab for you, so you have one-stop shop. Great, let us do it. We're just trying to do time saving on all your marketing. So if there's anything else you need in there that we could add to it, let us know and we'll see if we can pull it on in. These don't cost money. These are all part of your OA membership. So this is all free.
Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
So they're on the spotlight. I like a lot of this content here, Clint. Just again, it's food for thought, right? Blog posts. Just go get inspired. Look around. Think about it.
Chad, this is why we have the blog post. It's for you to be inspired, because lots of people are like, I don't know what to put in my newsletter this month. This is ridiculous. What do I say? What do I do? There's a lot of information. We update these each month with fun things that I'm not going to lie, that I find that I'm like, this is cool. I've never heard about this place in Ireland with this castle or whatever it might be. These are things to give you that are timely, and they're inspiration for you to either send or share with your clients, post on your page, drop in a newsletter and say, hadn't heard about this. If you're interested, in going to look at the balloon festival in Jerusalem or whatever it might be, it'll give you something fun to say and something fun to focus on that might be of interest to your clients.
And that's really important. What is trending? What's going on out there, right? What might they have been talking about at lunch or something like that? And then you come up with some content that's kind of related, or it's interesting, it's different, it stands out for a reason. Look, we have artificial intelligence now. Canva's got that writing thing, and you got Chat GPT and all that. Computer can tell you all kinds of stuff. Can't do it with personality. Doesn't know what's interesting.
Answer one question here. People can share the blogs as they are. These are people who write. But if you get inspired by one of these, I strongly recommend using, chat.ai or whatever, and come up with your own. I would share these. I did. Lots of times people don't like sharing other people's blogs, though I do, because they say that other people might sell them something. I find these blogs to be inspirational, and people who are customers of yours, we rarely see a conversion go somewhere else when it's been an email, but it's totally up to you and your business if you'd like to. You cannot copy and use them as your own. You have to copy and share them as the owner. And we drop them in newsletters for people who choose to do that as well. Sorry, Chad, carry on.
Oh, no,
Somebody-
no worries. I'm loving this. So the monthly spotlight, monthly focus blogs, articles, featured content, you definitely want to keep an eye on that. But now I want to jump into the vendor packs, which is kind of, I don't want to say core, but it's at the center of what Meta is about. At the end of the day, we have strong relationships with all of our vendors out there, and we want to get strong promotions out to you. So we invest the time, money, and resources to develop these vendor packs for you. It's very similar to the toolbox for Mag MMS. In fact, when we started building this, Steve coined it as Mag MMS toolbox on steroids. So that was kind of the goal, if you will. And here we have everything you need to get going. And Glenn, you want to kind of walk them through this?
Sure. So essentially, each month, we create these post specs for agents based on the content and the promotions that are going on from your preferred suppliers. And we put together the text. We pull together those images, like somebody had said, where they go to the pages. And at any given time, there could be up to 25 or 30 of these in here. The cool thing is that they've set it up on their side to have them expire when the offer expires. So when you're in there, it should be able to, the stuff that you see in there should be relevant for that moment for you to promote, and everything else, drops off when the special is over, which is fantastic. So that's great. You can add your own incentives. If you're going to drop this down, the images are from the brand website. And I tell people all the time, you can definitely add your own photos. If you've been on the trip and it's something personal, 100% add that, mix it in if you want to. But nobody promotes the brand better than the brand does. And they've invested a lot of time and money in these graphics. So I really recommend using the pretty things, because bright, beautiful images, and particularly video, just holds people on pages longer and gets them interested. So
Anecdotally, let me just share this. I went on a Silver Seas cruise last year. Lord, am I lucky? Okay, this was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this. I was holding a cup of coffee and I spilt it in my cabin, and the butler handed me a napkin. So I promptly bent down and started cleaning up. That's how out of my element I was. But man, I did some pick and posting, and our sales jumped 37% in 3 weeks. No additional effort. It was personal. It was authentic. There was a couple of gaffes in it, and it works. So take this beautiful imagery and put some personal stuff in there,
Absolutely.
and
So
that'll make it
you can
real.
add your logos to them, Chad. You can add it. The brands created this for you to use. And if you want to put your brand on there and say, we are, proud supporter of Virgin Voyages, or however you want to do it, 100% you can do that. Yes. The only one I'm gonna just put a little caveat on, and I know you guys all know this, but I wouldn't touch Disney stuff very much. If they do a promotion, they're scary. I mean,
Don't scale
that
it.
mouse
Don't
can be
twist
mean.
it.
So just I wave off of the Disney thing, and Sandals changes their promotion rules every 5 minutes. So, just be aware. Everybody else is pretty cool.
And then real quick, so when you download one of these marketing packs, what are they opening?
So what they're opening is all of the content. So they're opening the text. When you see them and they're all beautiful on the screen, it's what the layout looks like when you upload them into some sort of a social media channel. When you get them, they come down in individual files. They come down in text files, like a Word doc, like you're seeing on your screen, for the text that goes along with the images, and it's organized so you can see which one it goes with. And the others are the content that goes along with it. So what you're seeing on your screen, I'm not seeing what you clicked on. Could you get out of that one? Close that one for just 1 second. I want to see where you're at. Make sure I'm saying the right thing. Go back into that post pack for me, Chad. Can you open the file?
Post pack. Darn it, where'd it go? 1 sec.
Open the zip file one more time for me. I want to make sure I'm getting the question right, so I know I can tell everybody's looking at here. It does obviously drop down into a zip file when you get it. Typically what we do is we structure the content so that it's formatted properly for the right social media channel. So what I think you saw on your screen before, he moves around a lot. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. 1 sec.
Right.
There
When
we
you
go.
get it, it said FB for Facebook, IG for Instagram. There it is. So download the right version for the platform that you're putting on. Remarkably, the resolution and the size of the image varies based on the platform that you're on. So use the one that is relevant to the platform that you're using. I'm not going to lie, if you just grab Facebook and you post on everything, it's probably not going to make that much of a difference. But structurally speaking, Instagram, that they're a little more narrow, the resolution's a little bit different, but all of them are in there. So pick the one on the platform that you're looking at. Also, for those who want to schedule, we've got a scheduling tool, Chad. I don't know if this is something that is relevant, but if you want to do like the 30-day social media post in advance, a team that can help you do that. I think we're going to be bringing that platform to OA sometime in 2023. as well. So you can schedule it like Hootsuite. Everybody's done that. So you know, do it once and then be done with it for the month. So I'm hoping we can have that tool available for them. And all of these post packs will just automatically merge in, which would be great.
And then I just wonder real quick, I mean, for now you can use Canva and stuff, but it's nowhere near as good of an option as what they're building. But sometimes you're working with what you have, right? You got a free account or whatever. At the end of the day, scheduling, planning, getting this stuff done ahead of time is going to be a huge, huge benefit for you.
Yeah, plan out your month. If you go in here at the beginning of January, February, whatever it is, and you look at it and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do each week, plan it. Somebody did post that there's no video in there. If the brand doesn't provide it, we don't put it in there when it's a supplier post. It's in the sales post that we create on the homepage, but the supplier packs either come with them or they don't, and that varies based off of the brand. Sometimes they have them on their website if you want to go grab it, but these are the ones that we're provided with when we create the posts. I'd recommend still sticking something that moves anyway up there that
Heck
features
yeah.
proof of it. I grab something anyway, even if they don't include it in here, but we're just using the tools that they give us for the promotion.
Very cool.
yeah.
And you can just see the range of offers and stuff we have here. You know, we're putting this extra effort into it because we think it's a winning proposition. It's a promotion that should do well in the market. You know, so take the examples and suggestions of the professionals, make some decisions, and then apply them.
Yep.
It's
What
that
I
easy.
would also do, Chad, when you're downloading these is put something personal in the meantime. I hear all the time, I don't want to make my social media page a sales page. I'm not interested in posting everything about that all the time. So what I would do is take a couple of your favorite pictures, take a couple posts, and then, you know, day one, say, hey guys, here's a great promotion that's coming out from Virgin Voyages. Let me know if you're interested in visiting wherever it might be, or CIE tours. Make it conversational, then post when you were there with some pictures the next day if you've been on the boat or on the ship, excuse me, or in destination. And then the next day, do another one of the images along with more text. You can shake it up a little bit. Sales is not always about just doing a billboard thing. Modify it to conversational if that's more comfortable for you, but definitely use the content. We know that it works and we know that it's engaging. We know people like it. So definitely use that on your pages and turn it into whatever kind of language or presentation that you like for your social media pages.
And Colin, how do you feel about taking a brand? Let's say I'm just going to throw something random out there. Somebody that's promoting something in the Caribbean, right?
Mhm.
You know, big Caribbean producer. How do you feel about coming into the graphics library and maybe grabbing some brand agnostic content and putting it in between the promotional stuff?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's just a matter of how much time you have and what your interest is. I mean, there's people who are like, hey, I love doing this. The creative is my jam. And then there's people who would rather, you know, do literally, you know, nails on a chalkboard over this kind of thing. So
It,
whatever your patience is and whatever you're feeling represents your brand, or if you just want to get it done, all of those things work. It's always better to do something over nothing. And so if you're feeling it, get after it. Definitely use it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's funny you mentioned that people do things differently. For those of you who don't know, they call Steve and I yin and yang down there at the office.
What?
It's serious. And someplace in the middle, it seems like it's working. So don't be afraid to get outside of your comfort
For
zone
sure.
and just do some experiments, see what happens. Look, as a society, we have the attention span of hamsters on speed. Okay, somebody might see a
Pretty bad.
or
Yeah.
something that's not quite right, and they'll move on. You know, one boo, two boo isn't going to hurt anybody, or one misaligned message isn't going to hurt anybody. If it's done consistently, maybe. But get outside that comfort zone, mix it up a little bit.
Yep. Yep. And I'm seeing a lot of things about the no videos. As I said, if they don't provide them for us, we don't drop them in, but you can grab videos in Canva and just put them at the top for any of these. That's a quick grab and obviously low cost alternative. I love Canva for
Oh,
sure.
so do I. And you know, here's the thing. I don't think we're gonna have time today, but I can take one of those videos in about no minutes, brand it, and get it out. It's
Yep.
that easy.
It is
So,
fast for
real
sure.
quick, I'm being conscious of everybody's time. We're kind of winding down to our last few minutes here. Uh, Clint, if you were starting out today, let's say you had about 15 minutes experience as a travel agent, you knew
Okay.
you had to get some marketing done. You had a budget of about $10. Um, what would you do?
Um, my favorite thing, you mean as far as planning, or what would I like? If you're talking to me, I will tell you what I will do. I don't know that this is what everybody would
Well,
do.
remember, you're an agent with about 10 minutes experience. You got
Right.
$10, and maybe you know somebody who knows what you know,
I
but
would. Yep.
you're not
I
that
hear
person.
you. My goal would be in my head to somehow find a sailing that I liked on a cruise, and Target selling 40 cabins. I wouldn't hold any space because I wouldn't know about that yet. And pick a date and then get after everything I know about social media posting, contacting everybody and my friend, starting to follow groups, and talking to my real estate agent friends because they always have great lists. Day spas, do partnering with them to say, hey, if you refer enough business to me, I'll let you go on the cruise. That head lady, the front desk lady always is the
Mhm.
gatekeeper. And just open up your network a little bit. The easiest thing when you're right out of the gate is cruises. And if you set a goal to yourself for a single sailing, it allows you single focus, and you can learn a lot about product and brand and sell into a thing and then expand from there. That's if I had 10 minutes, and after 30 years, I still would do that. I think that's the smartest first step out of the gate. It's an easy sell, it's a big win, and there's a lot of people that like it. All inclusives and cruises are the biggest sellers. And fun fact for everybody on the call, 70% of outbound travel internationally in the United States is Mexico. So if you want a quick sale and you want to turn on the lights, sell Mexico.
See
Everyone's
someone
going there
else.
all the time.
Of course,
Just is.
absolutely.
So,
So
and
if I was in those shoes, I'd probably do exactly the same thing. I crack jokes. I can get somebody's attention, get some conversations going, maybe get involved with some lists. But I'm also a geek. So I'd be trying to figure out how I could leverage digital assets to expand the success I'm having and that real world personal networking. Okay. So I would want to get them on an email list, maybe get them into my social media. And then I'd probably start posting personal travel pics, how much fun we were having. And then maybe jump into a campaign with one of the brands that I've either been on or know really well. That way I could break the cardinal rule in marketing and stop saying we and start saying I. Remember, personal endorsement means a lot to people right now. So I would try to leverage Meta and that real world approach, because your backyard's a great place to start a business. It's a hard place to grow it. Okay. It's a great place to start, but it's a hard place to grow from unless you leverage that affinity. The fact that you know them, you've done business with them. Start getting them in that digital cycle, create brand awareness strategy, and then take the tactical approach of deploying promotions on a regular basis. I think you might have a chance of getting, past that backyard and into the whole world.
yeah, and to kind of add to that, one more thing, travel agents, if there's people who are on the call who've been in the industry more than 10 years, that when it first started out, there was email, everybody got blasted for just promoting and promoting and promoting. And we've been now trained to pull way back and not sell and, talk socially and all that. But ever since, Expedia and Travelocity hit the market, whatever my age is showing for sure, I don't know what year that was, but they changed everything. They led with price. Everything was led with price. So then travel agents were out there saying, hey, call me if you need something. And Travelocity was saying, hey, did you know you could take your family to Hawaii for $900? And it pulled a lot of that business back. But it also changed expectations on how people purchase in travel. Now, instead of being led into an inspiration moment of, God, I want to go to Hawaii, it's beautiful there. Now they're like, I had no idea I could go to Tahiti for only $4,000. Do I want to go to Tahiti? So make sure that you're pulling in. You don't want to leave with the billboard, but prices starting at really helps. That kind of thing at the bottom of an email. Give them something to go off of if you're going to do promotions, so that they know they can say yes to you when you're doing your promotions in your
And,
office.
and you just hit a great point that I think we kind of wind things up with. When you're leading with price, are you speaking to the goals of your client? Okay. The goal of your client is not to spend $4,000, it's to have an experience. And the cost of that experience is X. You're just trying to align that pain with that pleasure that they're after. So address the goals of your clients first. They want to be happy. They want to be excited. They want to have that special feeling because they're hanging out with family. They want to feel like a rock star because they're in a helicopter over Maui. What are they actually trying to buy? So you combine that strategic approach of here are your goals, here's the things that you want, here's how you want to feel, and that tactical approach. It's only going to cost you $4.99. Done. Then
Correct.
you get that whole client on board with you. If all you sold them was a price, folks, people are loyal to the decimal point. Wherever they find that decimal point, well, they'll go there. If you've educated, if you've elevated, if you've addressed deeper needs than spending money, you've probably made a client for a long, long time.
Right.
You kind of agree with that, Colin?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's hardly any bad communications in the marketplace, but I will tell you this, just when you're thinking about building your business and building your, if you have a great database, and a great database could be 200 people, it could be 2,000, it doesn't matter. The closest sale opportunity you always have is your database. Like if you're going to open the doors for business and you create a nurture sequence into your emails, you're 2 to 4 communication points away from a conversion if someone's ready to buy. If you do a lead generation on Facebook and all of that, that's really more of a cold to warm lead, and you're 7 to 9 communications away from converting. So doing those together is really a beautiful thing. And then Chad, obviously data segmentation. I know we didn't touch on that, but that's another,
We're going to
that's
dive into
another
that in
day.
some of these later
Targeting
sessions.
the right person. Yeah.
So real quick, we covered a lot of ground. Why? We're trying to get you guys ready for something different. Okay. We're empowering you. The common wisdom in the industry from the executive level has been, gosh, I hate to say this, but speak slowly to travel agents. You got to make it easy. You got to make it simple. You got to make it so anybody can do it. Folks, I think you're a step up from that. I encourage you to roll up your sleeves, take a good look at this, put some effort into it, and see what you come out with. Ultimately, your success is going to be defined by you. Your success is going to be defined by your utilizations of the resources that you have available to you. Go use them. Sequencing is one of the most important things you could do. I'll kind of wrap this up with yin and yang. Back in the day when we were doing retail, Steve wanted 250,000 unique visitors on his website. I said, sure, here you go. He says, but they're not buying anything. I said, well, you didn't ask for that. You asked for leads. Because I'm thinking, oh, he wants to create a nurture list. He wants to grow market, da, da, da. No, he wanted to make transactions. To me, and I've said this publicly a bunch of times, I'll give somebody $50 just for the opportunity to talk to you. Because I know that I'm that one communication closer to that 5, 7, or 9 I might need to get you to buy. So folks, we're going to kind of wrap up with a little teaser. So we have a series of 17 or 18 courses coming out this year in the Pro Series. They'll be led by industry experts such as Colin, oftentimes co-piloted by me, but not always. And the idea is that we're going a little different direction. Okay, everywhere you go, here's the 3 steps to make a sale, and it's all really easy and 7 simple steps and all that. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how and why you're crafting a message, how best to utilize particular social media channels, how to quote and qualify clients the best way. We're going to be looking at taking a holistic approach to you being a travel agent. And that's going to be amazing if I have anything to do with it. So folks, I want to thank you very much for being here. Colin, you're always awesome. I just
Thank you so
really
much.
do
Thanks,
like
everybody.
going back and forth. And I want you guys to tune in for the next Pro Series. Have a great day.
Have a great one, everyone.